Hey everyone, it's Tyler and Michelle Strike from Universal Rackets, and in this video we're going to be teaching you tips and tricks on how to always be ready up at the kitchen. Up at the kitchen, shots go fast, balls fly, and you have to be ready. If you watch this video, you will get faster hands, you will be proactive, not reactive, and more specifically, you will be able to anticipate where your opponents are going to go. There's some players when you go out to pickleball and they have such fast hands. And the reason why isn't because they're reacting, it's because they know what type of shot their opponent is going to hit. Let's get started. First couple of things that you want to think is your ready position. A lot of players, they have their paddle down, they have their paddle to the side. You want to make sure that you're up at the kitchen, your weight's on your toes, and your paddle is up and out in front. Once again, you're up at the kitchen, I'm facing this way. I'm not turning my body to the side. I'm on my toes and my paddle is out in front. Now, if you ever taken any beginner pickleball classes, they told you to keep your weight on your heels. That's because when your weight's on your heels, you won't fall into the kitchen. But then after you understand that and you're not struggling to stay out of the kitchen, that's when you want to go on your toes. This is your ready position at all times. Think, if my paddle's down, it takes so much longer to bring it down from up rather than be out in front ready for the next shot. That is the first thing. Now, the second thing that you want to do when you're dinking or when you're hitting, you always want to make sure that your paddle starts where you finish and you finish where you start. Here's where players go wrong. They're dinking back and forth and their paddle's down. They're dinking back and forth and their paddle's down. Notice, every single time I dink, watch where my paddle ends up every single time. Look, even if I volley it, it's always out in front every single time. If I hit the ball to the left side, my paddle tip's going to point to the left. If I hit the ball to the right, my paddle tip is going to point to the right. I want to think that there's a laser shining out the tip of my paddle. Wherever I point my paddle, or wherever I hit the ball, I'm going to point my paddle tip to. By pointing my paddle tip, that's going to automatically orient my body to close off where I want to go. Now, let's talk about the movement, Michelle, how you should move while you're up at the kitchen.
You want to use a shift in your body weight first. So if you're able to keep your feet here and shift your body weight into one leg, that's your first line of defense. Next, if you need to actually physically move your feet to the ball, it should be a body weight transfer and a shuffle, and to use as minimal steps as possible. And then third, if it's really something you have to move over to, you can step across your body and into the kitchen once the ball bounces.
And I love that. And the big thing that you said is like limit the amount of steps that you take, because the more steps that you take, the less that you're going to be get ready, because you're going to have to recover. I'm either taking no steps, one step to the side, or like you said, really taking a big step in. So if you play and you're moving with 20 steps, move with 10. If you move with 10, move with 5. Especially if you come from a tennis background. If you watch old videos of me, I'm literally like tons of footwork because that's what you want to do in tennis. But in pickleball, again, you want to take as minimal steps. And also Michelle said, which is a great tip, always shift on one side. So look, if I go over here, I'm going to shift on my left leg. I'm going to shift on my left leg. Okay, now I'm going to shift on my right leg. We took one private lesson that was from that guy Hui, and that was one of the best tips that he ever said. Distribute your weight on one leg after you hit, so then you can push back. So again, if I go for my backhand dink, I'm gonna go here, and then I'm going to push back. So we talked about the movement, we talked about our paddle positioning. Now let's talk about anticipation. Now, anticipation, the first thing in the general rule of thumb is try to understand your shot. You should be able to know if you're going to hit a really good shot or if you're in trouble. And what I mean by that is if Michelle hits me a good shot, right? If she hits me an easy ball to hit, a good shot for myself, right? I can move up to it, okay, that's a good dink. But if Michelle hits me a deep ball that I'm moving back or I get caught up, I'm going to know that probably I'm going to hit a higher ball, which is a bad shot on my end. So when I hit...
And then I'm going to have a good shot at you because you would assume your opponent would attack that bad ball.
Yes.
So you have to think ahead.
So think about the shots that you're taking. Again, if I get jammed up and I'm getting pushed back, I should expect the next shot from Michelle to be really good. If I hit a really good aggressive dink and it goes to Michelle, or I see Michelle get pushed back, then I should expect a really good shot for myself. Essentially, if I keep the ball low, I should expect a neutral or offensive shot from myself. If I pop the ball up, I should expect a offensive shot from Michelle, and that's going to force me to have to block and defend. Now, what are some things that you want to do based upon what I just said?
You want to adjust your body and your next shot selection according to what is happening with the ball.
Yeah.
And you also need to read your opponent to know how to do that.
And I feel like so many players, including myself, when I started out, all I think about was just getting my shot in. I don't think anything about my shot. Is my shot good or is my shot bad, and how should I adjust?
It's kind of like when you're meeting someone for the first time and you're so worried about telling them your name. Hi, I'm Michelle. And he says, hi, I'm Tyler. I totally forget his name because I'm so worried about my saying my name, and then I have no clue what his name is. But most of your shots in pickleball can dramatically improve if you pay attention to one shot ahead and you plan ahead. It's kind of like chess instead of checkers. You're planning ahead. You're reading your opponent because most times all of your answers are coming out of the opponent or the ball coming right off of your paddle. And then you can anticipate what they're going to do and adjust accordingly.
Yeah. So the first situation that we're going to go over is if you hit a high ball. So I hit a bad shot, aka I give Michelle a good shot. Now, this type of ball, I'm probably going to get jammed. I might be moving back. I might be taking it on the hop. So the ball's going to be going up to Michelle where she can come down on it. When I have that ball and I see that ball go up, I have to set and I have to keep my paddle out. When I hit a high ball, once again, unless it's so high that Michelle can turn to the side and smash it down, I am going to get my body set and hold my paddle out. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to hit her a higher ball, set, paddle out, and I'm going to be ready to block. Now, if I hit a good shot to Michelle and I see Michelle moving to the side or I push her back, watch what I'm going to do. See, I push her out here. I'm going to lean and expect a high ball. So again, when you hit a good shot, you're going to lean over and expect to get an opportunity. When you hit a bad shot, you're going to stay back and you're going to block. Instead of just hitting a bad shot going, oh my gosh, I can't get to the ball. I am prepared and I'm being proactive, not reactive to the type of shot that I'm going to hit.
And the higher level that you get as you progress in pickleball, you're going to think of the game in a different way. You're going to think mostly neutral. Like if I'm hitting a good shot, you're hitting a good shot, they're neutral shots until someone gets the green light or the potential green light to attack a ball. You're looking, it's like neutral, neutral, neutral. Someone can attack off of a bad shot. And then how do you get back into neutral?
Yes.
It's kind of like a wave.
And by thinking that way, again, that's going to get you more ready up the kitchen and you're going to have faster hands. To the point where I'm now starting to learn, and what Zach was teaching me is the speed ups, right? The triangle effect. If I speed the ball up to you and you're right there and I speed the ball up here, I'm probably going to get a shot over here. So it's like a triangle. Here's the first shot, here's the second shot, and then I move over. So again, if I speed the ball up to you over here, I should expect the next ball to be a counter. Now, when I used to speed up the ball, or even currently, I just speed up the ball and I'm ready for the next shot. Now I'm anticipating where the next ball is going to go. Another thing that you can think about is where your opponent makes contact. Now, if my opponent's making contact close to their body, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be a good shot. There's very little that you can do when you're making contact close to your body. There's a lot that you can do when you're out in front and you have time and you can go away from your body. So if I ever get Michelle like this, I should expect a really good ball to come after that. And that's going to be a big thing. One more thing that you can do to always be ready up the kitchen is just limit your backswing. A lot of players, it's turning your body aside. So if you don't turn your body aside and you're facing forward, it's going to limit it more. But you never want to turn your body because your paddle goes back. You always got to be out in front. Even if I'm hitting hard, I'm still going to keep my paddle out in front and not take the ball back. So again, if I want to hit power, right, and I'm taking a volley, here we are, I'm going to hit it hard at her, and I'm going to hit a volley. I'm going to take the ball out of the air pretty hard. Now, the next thing that you always want to do as well is understand that the faster that you hit the ball, the faster it's going to come back. And this is about 3-5-4-0 to 4-5-5-0 pickleball. These 3-5-4-0s, they speed the ball up, probably like 4-0s, and they automatically win the point. After the speed up, you have to be ready for the cleanup. And this, again, is something I learned by playing pickleball, because I went to the park, the local park, played some games, pickup games, and I would hit the ball hard and I would automatically win the point. Then I got invited to some higher level games, some 4-5, 5-0, 5-0 plus games, and I would speed the ball up and expect to win the point, and then they would blast the ball back at me. So whenever you go hard, you have to be ready for the next ball, because the faster that you hit it, the faster it is going to come back. So again, when I speed the ball up here, if I speed it up fast, I need to be ready for the next shot to hit it. So if you can keep your hands down front, if you can move to the side, if you can be ready for the speed up, anticipate the shot, think about what shot that you're hitting and what shot your opponent's going to hit. If it's fast, block, keep it short. If it's slow, then start keeping paddle in front and going for some big shots. You're going to be much better off, and you're going to be ready next time you're on court. Is there anything that you want to add?
No, just to make sure that you're always following the ball with your paddle, and that's a mantra type of sort of thing that you can do to remember and to physically put that into your body while you're playing the game.
Yeah.
So hopefully these are all little light bulbs that can go off in your next match and specific ways that you can execute it.
So have a good one. Happy hitting. Make sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend, and we will see you guys next time on court.